Today is beautiful here in Michigan, but the next few days we're getting some really cold temperatures in the negatives, and I don't heat my coop, so I want to show you what I'm doing to keep my chickens warm, happy, and safe during these Arctic temperatures. The first thing I'm doing is I have added all of this straw to block most of the wind from this doorway. It's not going to block all of the airflow, but it's going to be enough to block any direct wind. We have these privacy fencing things up, and they do block some of the wind. The old feeder, old water that we use in the summer is also helping to keep the block, that shield there in place. This is our door. When the temperatures get really, really cold, I can flip it down and close it off completely, but I hate to do that because a lot of my chickens still like to get out even in the cold temperatures. So what I'm doing instead is I've temporarily stapled up this cheap dollar store mat to block most of the wind. The chickens can still get in and out, and there's still some airflow. You can see a little bit here on the sides to keep from getting like direct cold airflow into the coop, but not cutting them off completely, because without airflow, the ammonia will build up from their droppings, and that can cause respiratory issues for your chickens. So when you're making your coop weather safe, you don't want to make it air. Another thing I've done is I've put these random little piles of straw. This is one of their dust bath areas. Random little piles of straw throughout the run here, and that's going to keep them on. Every day I throw treats out into those. It might be peas one day, it might be sunflower seeds or other nuts. Anything that's going to keep their interest and keep them scratching and pecking and encouraging those natural behaviors, because if they are stuck in the coop, they get cooped up and they end up picking at each other instead of doing their natural foraging behaviors. And they'll still do those even when it's really cold. Miss Fluffy Butt here is kind of showing what I'm talking about. This is inside their coop. So I've thrown down a whole bunch of straw and I've packed it into my colder areas, and I did block that vent and another one over here. You can kind of see the camera adjusts. Those two vents to block the west to east wind that we get with. So you'll see that she's occupying herself right now digging through this, and they'll spread that giant pile right there, and I'll throw some sunflower seeds down to help them. Those bags there, those are filled with straw too, and I just moved them around the coop to block the draft a little. I pack their nesting boxes with lots of fresh straw or pine shavings to encourage them to lay, but also I don't want them to get too cold because this is right up against the door, so I want them to be able to dig in and get comfy while they're trying to lay an egg. And I also don't want the eggs to break. I don't want them to immediately hit the ground or hit the bottom of those crates and break because there's not enough straw. They'll kick some of it out while they're laying, so it's important to pile a lot in there. See how she's pecking through? This is a deep litter method that we do here in the winter. And then lastly, you want to make sure their feeders are full all the way. You're giving them treats daily, and you're making sure they have plenty of fresh water. I use a heated water that keeps the water just above freezing, and I'll check that 3 or 4 times throughout the day just to make sure it doesn't break down in these super cold temperatures where it's running a lot. They need access to fresh water. They need a draft-free space to ride out these storms. They don't need any supplemental heat. And I've said that over and over and over again throughout multiple videos, but there are still people who lose their chickens every year to fires because they have a heat lamp in their coop. Doesn't happen to everybody. So I know there's somebody, it never fails. There's always somebody who's like, heating your coop's not bad. There's a lot of reasons why it's dangerous. So you can do it without heat. I'm in Michigan. We have negative temperatures pretty frequently throughout the winter. I've never heated my coop. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out here, or you can find me on YouTube as well, homesteading_seamstress. All right, you guys have a great day. Tomorrow's going to be beautiful in Michigan too, so please go outside, get some fresh air, and spend some time with your bird. Actually, real quick, let me show you my chicken who decided to go to a late molt because she looks insane. Hello, Wilma. You look a little sad today. You look a little pathetic. I'm sorry, Cheeky. I'll bring you some treats later, okay?